Well, good evening. I am Reverend Pam Cosby Brandman, and my topic tonight is Stop, Pray, and Listen. Now, we all remember these words of childhood wisdom. When you come to a street, you always stop, look both ways, listen to make sure it's safe before you proceed. A similar admonition for an adult with an illness or a challenge is to stop, pray, and listen. Listen to that still small voice of God within you. In Science of Mind, we believe that illness brings with it spiritual messages about our underlying emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical state of being. If we stop, pray, and listen to the messages that God is giving us through that illness, we have an opportunity to heal. If we change our thinking and our attitudes and heal that underlying mental state that led to the illness in the first place, we can be healed. When we align with the spiritual truth of wholeness, that spiritual truth outplays in our life as health. Now, we also believe that God works through doctors. So if you take a Tylenol, it's going to temporarily relieve that headache. Cancer treatment these days is amazing, and a masterful surgeon can certainly replace your knee if you need it. But we also believe that medical science works best when it's in parallel with spiritual healing as well. It is only when that underlying mental state is changed and shifted that the healing can be permanent, or the illness may even vanish all by itself. Now, I heard a recall notice in the news, which I'd like to share with you. This is how it reads. Important. The maker of all human beings is recalling all units manufactured, regardless of make or year, to the serious defect in the central component, or heart. This defect has been technically termed separation inhibits navigation, or more commonly known as SIN, or sin, as it is primarily symptomized by missing the mark. Some other symptoms are loss of direction, foul vocal emissions, amnesia of origin, lack of peace and joy, selfish or violent behavior, and depression or confusion in the mental component. The manufacturer is providing factory-authorized repair and service free of charge to correct this sin defect at numerous locations throughout the world. The number to call for the recall station in your area is PRAYER. Have you ever felt out of sorts, that there's something vaguely wrong? Maybe it's in your job, your relationship, or maybe a dream that's not coming true. That feeling will slowly escalate. Maybe you want to call that sin defect hotline. But if you ignore that feeling, it will become a nudge, a definite feeling that something needs to change. You have the option then to stop, pray, and to listen to what that divine guidance is about what changes you need to make in your life. If you ignore that nudge, it's going to continue to escalate. It'll become disharmony, and then conflict, and then an illness, a headache, or something worse, and finally it'll become a crisis. It'll be a health crisis, or an accident, or a job loss, some crisis will take you up and out of that situation, and you will have a chance to, if you survive, reflect and heal. Hopefully you will remember then to stop, pray, and listen to the divine guidance. Where does Spirit want you to go? What is the change that you need to make? If you don't make that inner mental shift, then the illness is likely to come back, or you may not even survive. Now, in the Bible, we are always being told, whenever we have a problem or illness, to pray. And James, the brother of Jesus, says in the 5th chapter of his book, "Is anyone among you in trouble? Let them pray. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders among the church and to come pray over them and anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick well, and the Lord will raise them up. Now, this brings us to one of the basic tenets of the science of mind, which is change your thinking, change your life. In this thing called you, Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, it is a known fact that thoughts, often repeated, form patterns in mind which automatically reproduce themselves. This is one of the basic principles of the new knowledge of the mind. This illustration is often used by psychologists to explain continuously repeated neurotic conditions. Why not use this creative law constructively, dislodging old thought patterns with their morbid reactions to life? These thought patterns have hypnotized humanity into the belief that fear, unhappiness, poverty, and sickness must prevail. Why not disrobe this mental darkness with the glorious conception of the new light, now known to exist? Ernest Holmes is asking us to see the spiritual truth of who we are. If we change our thinking, if we create a new thought in mind, that spiritual truth will manifest in our lives as health and wholeness. Dr. Lisa Rankin, in her integrative medical practice, integrates these principles. She talks about a patient that she had named Marla. Now, this woman practiced all the things you're supposed to do right. She was a vegetarian. She likes hiking, yoga. She doesn't drink much. No smoking or illegal drugs. But in the 2 years that Marla had worked together with Dr. Rankin, there had been no improvement whatsoever in the 4 chronic conditions that Marla was experiencing. And so Dr. Rankin asked Marla, what is it that you think your body needs to heal? And Marla said, that's easy. I need to move to Santa Fe. When I go to Santa Fe on vacation, all my symptoms go away. Of course, I am away from my abusive husband, and I'm away from my demanding job and my company, and I'm away from my elderly mother that lives with me. I care for her. And I get to explore my passion for art. My husband has never understood or supported that. Well, about a year later, Marla called Dr. Rankin and told her that she had indeed moved to Santa Fe. She'd also divorced her husband, sold her company, enrolled in art school, and moved her elderly mother to Santa Fe to a retirement home where she could be nearby, but not in her own home. She had fallen in love, and she had a wonderful group of friends. She had listened to her inner voice because she knew what it is that she needed to free herself to be who she was and to share her gifts with the world. This is why we stop, pray, and listen to that inner voice. My challenge to you this week is for your daily practice, your spiritual practice, is to take time to ask Spirit what it is that you need to bring into your life. Boldly and bravely listen to that inner voice of God and your own heart. It all starts with stop, pray, and listen.